Hey guys, I'm recording this minutes after the Halo Infinite campaign gameplay came out, and I suppose I'm just going to give my general reaction, feedback, impressions. This will be quite unscripted, and this will be a once-off video. Although, hindsight is a beautiful thing, I don't think this video needs to be made, but I did promise I would make it. And I'll probably touch on why I don't think this video needs to be made in a moment. That's my reaction to the Halo Infinite reveal. I mean, there's really not, I don't feel like there's a whole lot to say. It's actually quite disappointing in that regard, because it's been 10 years, in my opinion, since we got a great Halo game. I know Halo Reach is, maybe it didn't age very well, it's kind of polarizing amongst fans, but I still consider it to be the last great Halo game, and it's been 5 years since Halo 5 came out, approximately. And so we've had this long, strenuous wait for, I suppose, the comfort of knowing that Halo is back. And having watched that, it's about 8 minutes, the gameplay. There's going to be footage on the screen you can see now, but I do recommend going and watch it yourself and listening to the audio and whatnot. I still don't feel like I have the answer to, is Halo back? Is Halo great again? I don't know. To begin, the graphics, a lot of people are talking that the graphics are cartoonish, that they are a little bit plastic, and Halo's always had that kind of style about it in terms of graphics, and I don't think the stream did any justice. I've watched snippets of it again. Halo have uploaded the actual video and I've watched snippets, and it does look a bit better. Not on stream. Having said that though, this is a next generation title. Only, I'd say, 10 or 20 minutes after the Halo demonstration, Forza Motorsport had their demonstration, and that was in-game. And look, racing games I think are great, in terms of graphics, but Forza Motorsport looked a lot better than Halo Infinite, and I was quite surprised. That Halo Infinite, it didn't look bad. You could make the argument that Halo Infinite is a 2018 or 2019 title. I understand the game has to come out on Xbox One, but Forza Motorsport just looked that bit better. Maybe it's built purely for Xbox Series X, I don't know. So graphics a bit up in the air, and it that brings me into the theme of the demonstration, which in my opinion it felt alpha. It felt almost pre-alpha. It felt like I was watching a gameplay demonstration that 343 Industries would give to, I don't know, Microsoft executives maybe a year before the game is released, to say, look, this is what we've done so far. It's not, 100% polished, it's maybe 90% polished, and this is it. And I'll be completely honest, I'm a little bit worried. If any of you saw my F1 2020 review, long story short, that was one of the first COVID games. A lot of development time was during the coronavirus pandemic, which of course is still happening, and Halo Infinite is no different. Polishing, bug fixing, all that stuff. At this point I was a little bit worried before watching the demonstration, but now I'm extremely worried going into holiday 2020, because I really do think that the coronavirus could have an impact on this game. But anyway, moving forward, cutscene at the very beginning great stuff with Chief, and I don't know if the pilot has a name. That looked great. Actually, it was strange. All the cutscenes looked fantastic. Something about the gameplay that was just that bit off. The sound. This is you'll probably see a trend here. This is my general reaction to most of the elements of this demonstration is meh. It's there were few. Okay, I'll now talk about the one aspect of the demonstration that made me go, holy shit, this looks, amazing. And that was when I think Chief was in his Warhog and he stopped and he opened up his map, and oh my god, this is, I wouldn't say it's a full open world Halo campaign, but it's, mostly open. And that, the excitement that gives me. I know a lot of people might say, well, that's not Halo. Halo's always been, obviously, there's been open world missions and levels and whatnot, but Halo's always been this linear game. But I don't think many people know this, but in 1999, when they were developing Halo, that it was originally supposed to be this third-person open world game. And yeah, Bungie eventually, made it less open world, maybe even not open world at all. But Halo's Sandbox is so rich and deep and varied that an open world to explore on a Halo ring, it was rumored beforehand. That sounds so cool, and I can imagine replayability should be amazing in terms of that. But yeah, that was the only aspect of the presentation that made me go, whoa. And I can talk about the rest of it. Sprint seems to be in. Whether that's, optional in multiplayer in certain playlists, whether you can turn it off in custom games, I don't know. I don't think there was you were able to get a good look at how fast the base movement speed is. In terms of, if you turn off sprint, how quickly can you move around and stuff. Slide has stayed, so has clambered. It seems like ADS is gone, so I think that's a positive. I think, I don't need to zoom in with an assault rifle, and I just don't think it was a necessary addition to begin with, but that's gone. We saw a lot of new weapons, particularly banished weapons that I won't get into too much. At times, I think Chief picked up what appeared to be a shotgun and what appeared to be a DMR. And at first I was like, oh shit, new weapons. But now I've realized, is that not a DMR and a shotgun? I don't know. Or, will we later see a DMR and a shotgun? Because I don't think it was titled as DMR or shotgun. It was, I think the shotgun was Bulldog or something along those lines. So have to, see what that's about. But yeah, new banished weapons, that's great to see. Of course, when Halo 4 came out and the Prometheans were added in, they had to add in, a ton of Promethean weapons, and that's completely understandable. With the banished, they seem to be taking a bigger, they're taking a bigger role to play in terms of story. It'll be slightly maybe confusing or a bit off-putting for people who haven't played Halo Wars 2 as to, who are the banished, what are their goals, their origins, whatnot. I do recommend playing Halo Wars 2 if you haven't. It's a pretty decent campaign. But yeah, there were new designs in terms of, obviously Covenant, banished in terms of enemies, weapons, that sort of thing. And echoed by many people, is it cartoonish? Is it plastic? Again, I feel like it's hard to judge. Part of me thinks the final product will look, 5% or 10% better and more polished, but maybe it won't. Maybe this is the game we're getting, and you can only truly know until you play it as to, well, does this feel polished or plastic or whatever. But as I said, I'm a little concerned, and it was a very underwhelming presentation. I think if you have an open world Halo campaign to show off, I think there are, so many more things you can do, and it remains to be seen. Well, Chief had his map open. There were three objectives, and are there maybe side missions? Are there collectibles? All that stuff. I'm sure there might be, and they're just not on the head up display. But it remains to be seen. Maybe it's just, here's the primary mission, and you have one or two or three or four options to complete that mission. To conclude, however, this has been a very average presentation. It's not something that I would share with my friends and say, holy shit, look at Halo. It's something that I'm looking at and I'm like, this is good, this is fine, but where's the 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 game that I think we all expect from Halo? And sadly, that wasn't shown today. There's other stuff that I haven't gone into in terms of maybe equipment, the grappling hook and whatnot, but they didn't seem too intrusive. But yeah, overall, very underwhelming, and we'll just have to see, with the multiplayer info that's to come, and when we actually get the game, is this the final product? But keep on your toes, because we still don't know, is Halo back yet?